how did you get that footage of Diddy?
I think most journalists would not disclose their sources.
If Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time. My favorite villain? I kind of like Diddy.
There are no misconceptions.
I ain't never made a call to Diddy. I got Diddy's number. Just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
He told me to take me shopping. I looked at him like, what'd you just say?
Woo. This is a tight one. And the winner is Eminem, the Eminem Show.
Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep.
You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
We ain't baby all close.
Nah, you stupid.
But yo, look,
Nah. You working with Pac?
Puff for 30 years.
You saw Big before he passed?
Yeah.
Bro, so you're close. And Jack, what were you saying?
In the documentary, there was insinuations of, that Diddy possibly had something to do with both Tupac and Biggie. And,
Who's telling the story? Right? You can skew
People very close to the situation.
but you can create any narrative.
Woke up, I looked at the computer said, Floyd said, see how Nelly fucked 50. I'm like, what did he say for? Nelly, your first baby mama, Melissa, then took your fiance. Say fuck that.
People would think it would be unethical, especially if you've been accused of such things, to be the person blowing the whistle on other people being accused of such things. 50 don't give up. Okay? He don't give up. He posted the Netflix thing. He said #1 in 36 countries and 11 others still going up. Okay? Now, here it is. 50 is now posted a picture, an edited picture of that. A picture that someone drew.
50 Cent's documentary about Diddy didn't quietly slip onto streaming platforms. It exploded onto the scene, rapidly climbing the charts and catching even seasoned industry insiders by surprise. What may have started as curiosity or controversy quickly transformed into something far more substantial, as viewers who expected surface-level drama were instead met with sharp, purposeful storytelling that felt more like a strategic expose than simple entertainment. As the initial buzz began to cool, anticipation only intensified, with rumors of a second season circulating and hints suggesting a darker, bolder, and more hard-hitting direction. Online conversations now point toward a potentially expanded scope, including alleged ties to Jay-Z that have quietly fueled speculation and tension within the culture. If those whispers prove true, the next installment wouldn't just continue the narrative, it could reopen chapters many believed were long closed. And according to growing speculation, Jay-Z may be only one piece of a much larger network, with other powerful figures possibly drawn into the spotlight through influence, rivalry, and unresolved history. The silence surrounding these developments doesn't feel accidental, it feels deliberate, as though something much bigger is steadily unfolding behind the scenes.
And just to kind of like roll off of what 50 was saying, I did not believe that I did not believe that it was going to be this crazy, but he's been the biggest champion of it. And so I think the goal was, the original conversation that 50 and I had in sitting down and talking about it, in the wake of Cassie filing her lawsuit, which is when we kind of had our first conversation, right then, was understanding that there were a lot of rumors in the industry. There was a lot of talk about, some of this bad behavior. I think Cassie's lawsuit, the level of detail that, getting underneath the hood and seeing the level of detail that she brought forward was really a lot to digest. And I think that both 50 and I were really interested in the nuances of tackling a story like this, like kind of understanding, where does the role of victim, begin and end versus like being a perpetrator, and kind of understanding cycles of violence and these kind of reoccurring patterns, and just seeing how complex the story was, and that no one was really treating it like that. Everyone was just very focused on salacious headlines and like with no context, and so I think for us, we wanted to put that care into the story.
But they did characterize it as a hit piece in the very beginning. It's because they didn't get a chance to watch it, when they were saying that. And then after they see it, you see everyone's changed their mind, and it becomes the number one dog.
But also, someone calling it a hit piece was a statement from Diddy's team. So, I mean, what's your response to Diddy's team? Of course, they're going to probably have an opinion. And then, what's your opinion on people that just say that you're petty? Are you petty?
I accept that. I'll take that. I'll wear that. I'm fine. Like I have antics that I've become comfortable with on social media because of the usage of social media. That's just that. You know what I mean? Like, but when they look at, they'll say me deciding to go on ABC is petty. The morning show is the biggest show. These people they came. It's a great opportunity to be on that actual platform, but they looked at it further and said it's airing in prison, so this would be why I would like to do that. And it didn't come across as a reason not to. Of course, I was aware that it would be airing.
And for both of you, one of the other questions fans are asking is, there are a lot of great and powerful interviews in this, but where are A-list celebrities? Where are people in his orbit that remain silent? Like, they've never really even spoken out against the allegations or anything that's going on. Are people just concerned about their careers? Are they afraid to speak out? Because I remember Harvey Weinstein, right away, everyone was like piling on and talking. Why is everyone afraid to say anything about Diddy?
It's a part of the hip hop culture. Like, they think that they are telling something. Or just mind your business type of thing. Like, so if there's no, other than that, you would look, if I wasn't saying the things that you've heard me say, there would be nothing being said at all. So it'd just be, you would assume that the culture is for those behaviors.
As excitement around season 2 continued to build, Marlon Wayans unexpectedly stepped into the conversation, adding a new layer of tension to the unfolding narrative. In a recent interview, he urged audiences to watch 50 Cent's documentary with discernment, highlighting the long-standing and deeply personal rivalry between 50 Cent and Diddy. Wayans questioned how much unresolved history can shape storytelling, stressing that documentaries carry the power to influence perception and frame narratives in subtle ways viewers may not immediately detect. His remarks, centered on motive and accountability, quickly spread online and sparked widespread debate. It didn't take long for 50 Cent to respond in his trademark fashion, firing back with memes and sharp digital jabs aimed directly at Wayans' critique. What began as a thoughtful caution soon escalated into a public exchange, intensifying the spotlight on the underlying tensions and fueling even greater discussion across social media.
Was it like in the family chat? Well, brothers, they were funny. Damon was like, why you pick the biggest brother? He's on gamma rays. Stick to beefing with Soulja Boy, Kevin Hart, people that we can beat. You fight him. Leave guys that got shot 9 times alone. He survived 9. And so I backed out. I just said his name. They asked me about the documentary. I was like, I didn't see it. And then they asked me about it, and I just gave my opinion. I was just like, I don't think brothers need to be quarreling in public like that. And then what I get into? A public quarrel with a brother. And I just think it was bad for the culture, and so I kind of backed out. I don't even say that name anymore. If you ask me, hey, you got change of $1? I need a half $1. So you need a half $1.
All right, so I'm gonna make it abundantly clear. I'm not here defending Diddy. I am here because I got dragged into this because somebody asked me a question and I had an opinion. Nobody's wrong for giving an opinion about any subject, period. I'm not here defending Diddy. Don't let the narrative fool you or get to you. Once again, somebody's creating narratives. This is my point. So please look at the whole clip that I did and then look what happens with the narrative. And that's what I'm telling you. Y'all people don't be sheep. Use your brain, use your freedom of thought, freedom of speech, and don't ever let nobody bully you. Never. Don't let nobody bully you. You got me?
What makes this clash so compelling isn't merely the high-profile names attached to it, it's the timing. The friction ignited precisely when debate around the documentary had reached a fever pitch, transforming a single comment into days of viral memes, online mockery, and relentless digital sparring. What might have faded as a passing observation quickly snowballed into a headline-dominating dispute. Marlon Wayans later clarified that his remarks weren't meant to defend Diddy or align with any side. Instead, he framed his stance around fairness, intention, and the responsibility that comes with influencing public narratives. He underscored how powerful storytelling can shape perception in ways that extend far beyond the screen, yet to 50 Cent and too many fans closely tracking the exchange. The tone felt more personal than neutral, and 50 Cent's rapid, highly visible response made one thing clear, intentional or not. Wayans had moved from commentator to participant. He wasn't simply analyzing the narrative anymore. He had become woven into it.
Back and forth between 50 and Marlon Wayans.
With him and Marlon Wayans, I don't understand, Marlon got his own opinion, just like everybody got an asshole. He got his own opinion too. You know what I'm saying? And he's going to say whatever he wants to say. But, when somebody is going to war or don't like somebody or somebody got a beef with somebody, unless you want to be a part of that beef or take a part of that, why you going to get involved in it? You understand? Keep your opinion to yourself. If those two people got a beef and you got a voice out here. Marlon got a voice because he comes from that family that has done a crazy, comedy shows and things for our community as far as being the elites of the comedy world and then of the movie world. And he comes from that family, bro. So, you putting his voice and saying that, 50 is doing something wrong and stuff like that. People can't tell people what to do and how to do with their lives and with their time and everything like that. And if he's going against Puff and he's putting stuff out there, that's his business. That's him and Puff's business. You understand? Like people try to say I'm doing something wrong. That's me and Puff's business. You understand? No, but it's all right for him to send dudes to try to do something to me. It's all right for him to, send people or get them information so I can lose my job. It's all right for them to do what they do. You understand? But when they see somebody like me or doing it back or saying something, I gotta be some broke this, I gotta be some jealous this, I gotta be some hating ass and stuff like that. No, this is war. You understand? I might not have the ammunition he have. I might not have the people that he have. So for Marlon Wayans to go at 50 like that, both of them got money. You know what I'm saying? Both of them got, their own peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? But for Marlon to put out a clip that is an AI generated clip against 50, that's something whole different, bro. That's something whole, and I see that's happening right now. They got a clip of me holding a picture of Diddy and I think it's 50 or somebody in the bed together. You understand? I ain't never had that picture right there. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen that. That's a lie. But they're allowing that like that to come on the internet. You know what I'm saying? They're allowing people, to cut and paste and put stuff out there and make people seem like, they are some kind of fanoid, some homosexual ass whatever. And I know you can't say that on a thing, but that's what it is, bro. And I just hate that they are allowed and they can't be sued for doing stuff like that, man. And that's what, if you're going to do anything, you should be able to sue somebody to be doing stuff like that. For him to put 50 in the hot tub with Puff or get that picture when he knows it's an AI generated picture, that was low. That was real low. But he said, so since 50 trolling, I'm a troll. So have that same energy when you see that man. Keep trolling when you see that man. And that's what I got to say about that one. My whole thing about it is, bro, you know, people going around saying, but Diddy's in jail. And him being in jail don't bring back none of the people that died, not only on his watch, on his making. It don't bring back Big. You know what I'm saying? I heard one journalist talk about, Suge Knight is the one who, you know, Big and set Big up and everything like that. So let me ask you something. Suge Knight was working in accordance with Puff to get Big out of California. He was working with Puff to keep Big from going to London. Suge Knight was working with Puff to do that? I don't think so. I heard Puff tell Kirk Burroughs on that Thursday, yo, Big ain't going nowhere. You could go by yourself, but Big ain't going nowhere. You know what? When you look at things and they see things, you know that
if there was ever a name many assumed would eventually surface in the wake of Diddy, particularly with 50 Cent's momentum accelerating, it was Jay-Z. For decades, their careers have run on parallel tracks within the music industry, shaped by calculated alliances, quiet competition, and tensions that never entirely disappeared. Their shared history is layered and complex, rooted in an era that continues to influence the culture today. As scrutiny around Sean Combs continues to fuel speculation, attention now seems to be drifting toward other influential figures who occupied that same space. Jay-Z's name has entered the dialogue not through confirmation but through timing and proximity. No official statements have been made and no claims have been substantiated. Still, the blend of silence and shifting focus feels intentional enough to spark curiosity. It's that uncertainty, the lingering sense that something significant could emerge at any moment, that's heightening the tension and keeping audiences alert for what might unfold next.
How close was Diddy and Jay-Z? They was close enough that they wasn't playing basketball, they wasn't playing baseball, they wasn't playing football, and they wasn't playing hockey or soccer for Diddy to come on stage, pat him on his ass, and then make the statement to people in the world that can't nobody call me Sean but Jay-Z. Now, I don't know what kind of statement, and I can't say, I wish I could say half a homo, but I know I can't say it, but I don't know what kind of half a homo that is, and you trying to say that you're not close to somebody. You coming on stage, patting them on their ass, and then you making a broad statement to the public, can't nobody call me Sean but Sean Carter. And I heard Jay-Z said the same thing about them. But they were so close that they had matching white girls together. Because when they used to see each other, they used to say, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? He'd be like, yo, how your skinny white girl doing? So,
is 50 Cent has made no real effort to slow the speculation, if anything. His recent moves have poured fuel on it through subtle yet strategic activity on Instagram. He has kept the conversation simmering. One post in particular, featuring Jay-Z, immediately grabbed fans' attention. With many viewing it as a calculated signal rather than a random upload, the reaction was instant. Comment sections flooded with predictions about so-called Jay-Z files, as followers speculated that a full season or exclusive installment might already be in the works. Rather than dismissing the rumors, 50 appeared to quietly lean into them, liking supportive comments and allowing the theory to build momentum organically. Considering Jay-Z's decades-long influence in music, his vast business empire, and his publicly known connections to Diddy, even the suggestion of his deeper involvement carries weight. His continued silence has not calmed the speculation, it has intensified it. For many watching closely, Jay-Z's role in this unfolding narrative feels less hypothetical and more like a chapter that may only be a matter of time before it's unveiled.
A lot of people think it's unethical for a rapper to be blowing the whistle on another rapper, given the fact that many rappers do the same things. Now, maybe not Diddy things, but like, you know, I can tell you, I know many rappers who they do domestically assault their women. They have put their hands on their woman. They have beat their woman before. They have a domestic case. People would think it would be unethical, especially if you've been accused of such things, to be the person blowing the whistle on other people being accused of such things. 50 don't give a okay? He don't give a He posted the Netflix thing. He said number 1 in 36 countries and 11 others still going up. Okay? Now, here it is. 50 is now posted a picture, and an edited picture of that. A picture that someone drew of Jay-Z. And 50 said, please stop sending me stuff like this. I'm not going to post it. But of course, he's being facetious because he posted the picture that he claimed he wouldn't post. Now, that's not the interesting part, y'all. The interesting part is when you look at it, 50 was in the comments here and he was liking posts. You can't see what the author, which will be 50, likes. But 50, and I guess I could post it on, give me a sec. I could post it on our burn page. Wait, what? Wait. Give me 1 second, y'all. Give me 1 second. Every time I open my phone, I see like a million things. Anyway, because I don't want to slow the stream down. 50 is liking these comments, and these comments are saying, yo, do the documentary on Jay-Z next, right? Oh, actually, people posted on Twitter. So they're actually saying, and they're encouraging, and 50's liking it. Here we go. It's a 50 Cent liking the comments, hinting Jay-Z's next. Somebody says, my only question. He's next, isn't he? 50 liked it.
What once lingered in private conversations is now unfolding in full public view. For years, allegations linking Diddy to a discreet inner circle existed on the fringes, fueled by anonymous accounts and scattered narratives that many dismissed as speculation. Now, similar themes are resurfacing through podcasters, former associates, and prominent voices, with some drawing uneasy parallels to notorious power structures from the past. While no claims have been substantiated, the repeated emphasis on secrecy alone has captured widespread attention. The tone of excess and exclusivity feels strikingly familiar, adding to the intrigue as public curiosity begins to outpace confirmed information. The line between legitimate inquiry and pure conjecture becomes increasingly blurred. And as whispers transform into headlines, one lingering question remains: will this growing exposure bring long-awaited clarity, or will it further complicate and fragment the story?
As you know, I just saw a very unfortunate situation that took place in Canada, and I wanted to say to everyone, you know, that I hope that brother made it home safely. I hope that he now has a different perspective and a better sense of what to do and what not to do while you're out in the world, you know? That part where the young guy was like, he did this little move and shit and got knocked the fuck out, like right there. That does not reflect him. That reflects his camp. And he might need to go get the dream cases or,
It's a name that rarely commands headlines. Yet it could become pivotal if Season 2 turns its focus to the roots of Diddy's ascent. As his mother, Janice Combs raised Sean largely on her own after the early death of his father, balancing multiple jobs to provide stability and opportunity. A former model and school aide, she has been described as the steady presence in his life, instilling discipline, structure, and ambition during his formative years. Janice has publicly challenged the way the documentary depicts Diddy's childhood, arguing that it misrepresents her parenting and minimizes the solid foundation she worked tirelessly to build. Her rebuttal has reignited debate, particularly as some former acquaintances have offered differing accounts of the home environment. If the series chooses to examine that period more closely, Janice's perspective, along with the broader dispute over how those early years are portrayed, could emerge as one of the most revealing and controversial threads. Such a shift has the potential to significantly influence how audiences understand the beginnings of a figure who remains as layered and polarizing as he is influential.
I believe that he was victimized, and I think it happened long before the industry. You know, people really don't want to look closer into his childhood and to what his mama had going on in that house. God knows what he saw and what happened to him in his own mama house. All of those strangers, them up involved, looking around, seeing what was going on. And let's just be clear, it sounds like her house was a house of, you know, professional freak-offs. So who knows what he saw or what could have happened to him while she was busy entertaining people and pouring and getting tips, as she would say, for her after-hour life.
Oh yeah. He was. I'm gonna say he was surprised to hear that.
School bus driver. No, was he surprised or was he like, zip it, you talking too much? Because that's what it looked like to me. It looked like you talking a little bit too much. They don't need to know about that. While she was sitting there, oh, because I was a bus driver and I was this and I worked at the after hours. And I would pour them drinks and they would give me big tips.
She didn't say it just like that. Big tips. You know,
big pimping, spending cheese.
In Sean's own words, in Diddy's own words, he had said he had a sigh of relief learning that he was the son of a hustler or a gangster. Like he wanted that status. He wanted to say that he was like a sigh of relief is a wild thing to say, that your daddy was a gangster or a hustler. That's what you heard that he was.
Well, I mean, like Tim said, they had a bunch of blaxploitation movies being played around the house all the time. They grew up with the Mac playing. They grew up with Superfly playing. Like, I mean, if that's what you got going on, you got two women in the house and there's no men around, and these are what the little boys are watching. You got basketball players coming over late at night. You got hustlers coming over, PIMPs coming over, women who look like they were modeling for Jet Magazine coming over. Like, it sounds like the nature of the environment is what shaped their perception of what cool.
Another name quietly entering season to speculation is Ray J, an addition that feels unexpected yet intentional. While he isn't typically placed among hip-hop's most powerful industry figures, his history of headline-grabbing moments and unresolved tensions has clearly kept him on 50 Cent's radar. Their dynamic traces back to a widely discussed backstage incident in Las Vegas, when Ray J confronted Fabulous at a major event. 50 later revisited the moment with pointed sarcasm, highlighting how the confrontation seemed to fizzle out as Fabulous proceeded to perform as if nothing had happened in the years since. 50 has continued to spotlight Ray J across social media, resharing interview clips and adding captions that subtly question or mock his credibility. Now, with growing talk of a darker and more revealing second season centered around Diddy, fans are beginning to wonder whether Ray J's past controversies and his highly visible public persona could place him in a far more prominent and potentially uncomfortable role in whatever chapter unfolds next.
As a journalist, you heard me say what I said, and that's kind of what cranked this whole thing up. But then fast forward to the documentary. Saying that they was getting their ass taken, bro. I didn't say that. multiple times. We kept partying. Owe you some money? I mean, yo, what the f is going on in this world, bro? He said I woke up with females in the bed. Then I woke up and Diddy was in the bed. What was Diddy doing in the bed, bro? Ooh, damn. I went and took a and my coming out way more runnier. I'm feeling sore around the rear end area. So I know what happened. I've been taken. And
another name gathering attention ahead of season 2 is Stevie J. And this isn't about old grudges. It's about loyalty under fire. As a longtime bad boy insider and accomplished producer, Stevie J didn't stay quiet during the fallout from the reckoning. Instead, he publicly stepped forward, pledging unwavering support for Diddy regardless of the consequences. That declaration immediately ignited social media, not simply for what was said but for the undeniable weight behind it. To many, it came less as casual backing and more as a definitive line drawn in the sand. Unsurprisingly, 50 Cent took notice, using Stevie J's vow as fodder for sharp commentary and viral jabs. As conversations around the documentary grow more intense and charged, Stevie J's visible allegiance has thrust him into the spotlight, raising a deeper, more probing question when the pressure mounts. How far can loyalty truly extend?